Hi, Tim Talen, Ragwood Refactory, and we're talking today about one of the unique features on the Interstate Cadet, and that is the little seemingly innocent fabric clip. But these little fabric clips were patented by Interstate and used on all of their Cadet and L6 aircraft. And so we want to talk a little bit about them because there's some interesting features about the little fabric, the lowly fabric clip on Interstates. Now, if you remember, historically, the Interstate came about quite late in the production of light airplanes during the 30s, and it was designed about 38, 39, early 40, and put into production really in 1941. They had the benefit of looking at a lot of the other light aircraft that were being built at that period of time. So we had they were able to look at wood ribs. They didn't like that. They didn't like the aluminum rib that was typical in the Piper and Taylor craft before the war. And so they came up with this unique design. It's a very simple rib of very few parts and riveted together. And they were stamped out and produced with the fabric clip holes built right into them. So every Interstate is going to have this double set of holes all along the top and the bottom cap strip. And their method of attachment with this fabric clip was new. I don't believe that there was any other aircraft that was using anything like this. The early Stinson 105 1010A series had a rib that was similar to this, but they used PK screws in a little wider web. And they didn't recess as well. So Interstate had a little recess, a little valley in there where the fabric clips could snap into and theoretically be flush with the airfoil. So it made for a very nice, smooth installation. Now, post-war era came along. Interstate stopped producing the Cadet, and a small, insignificant company called Cessna came out with the Cessna 120, 140, 170 series. They used a stamped rib with a flat flange, and guess what? A fabric clip. Now, since Interstate had patented this fabric clip, you may wonder, how in the world did Cessna get around that? Well, we have a little comparison here between the Interstate fabric clip and a Cessna fabric clip, and you can easily determine the difference. Now, the Interstate clip here has the hook on one end and then a barb on the other end, whereas the Cessna clip has barbs on both ends. That apparently is how they got past the Interstate fabric clip patent by creating their own slight diversion. And by that I mean slight because the wire diameter is the same, the hole spacing is exactly the same, and everything is essentially identical on Cessnas as it was on the Interstate, except for this small, tiny feature. So you can look at your Interstate if you had the opportunity to buy a project that had the fabric clip still on it. You may find a lot of the Cessna clips. You may find, hopefully, some Interstate clips. Now, let's talk a little bit about installing these little critters. And I like the Interstate clip because it's a little bit simpler and easier to install. Yeah, on the wing, we have the fabric clips were into the wing ribs as we have as seen here. And then on the tail surfaces, they had steel channel. This happens to be a stabilizer, but the stabilizers, elevators, rudder, and fin all had fabric clips installed to hold the fabric on the tail surfaces. So there's a couple of holes and spacing for clips on the tail surfaces as well. So installation, when you get your fabric on, and we've been typically using the polyfiber process. So when your fabric goes on, and then you're reinforcing, and you go through the process of shrinking and the first coat of poly brush, and then your reinforcing tapes can go on. We typically use the 1/4 inch reinforcing tape on the tail surfaces and 3/8 on the on the wing ribs. It seems to be a little bit nicer installation on the wings, but either 1/4 or 3/8 will work in either situation there. Now, after we've got the fabric on and the reinforcing tapes in place, we typically set a bright light down on the floor shining back up, and by just cupping your hands a little bit and looking through, you can find the holes. And we typically poke all our holes first, right through the reinforcing tape and the fabric, and get all our holes poked and get everything all finished and ready to go, so that we can easily locate the holes. Now, I just kind of, as a matter of uniformity, have always put the hook on the front and the barb in the back. So when you're installing these fabric clips, of course we don't have any fabric on it here, but you can easily see in the hole I put the front one in, and then the second one you can see right where it's going to go. And with just a small light hammer, doesn't have to be very much at all, and get your holes located, and you can pop those fabric clips right in just like that. It's a very simple snap, and they should go in. Now, and that is also another clue as to whether you're getting fabric clips that are really holding tightly. If they will snap in for you, that's a good installation. If they fall in and tend to fall out, like they often do on the wing ribs, then you need to do some more work with either shortening up the fabric clip a little bit, which you can actually do. Here's one that's been done, and it's exaggerated, but you can see by putting a little Z bend in the thing, you can shorten up the clip a little bit and tighten that up so that you get a nice snap on your fabric clips. Okay, that's basically the difference between a Interstate fabric clip and a Cessna fabric clip. And if you do the steps properly, check all your holes before you start your fabric process, you'll have a much better success installing about 350 of these fabric clips to hold your fabric on.